game number 8 of this road trip for the Phils and their fans. They ventured down 95, hoping for a victory, hoping for a little offense. It's a hot night here in Baltimore. It's game 2 of this very quick series before these two teams head back up 95 to Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Ben Davis. We get set for the finale of this 2-game set, and the Phillies offense is the topic all around the Delaware Valley, and it's even the topic here. 21 innings without scoring a run. They need a big base hit at some point tonight.
It's a big problem. It's been a big problem for them the last couple of years, not only this year, but they're just having a tough time. Batting average is down, and when the batting average is down, you're not going to knock guys in. Obviously, if you don't knock guys in, you're not going to score runs. So, how do they go about their business? Well, they just need to concentrate a little bit more on staying within themselves, not trying to hit a 10-run homer every time up.
You know, it's amazing. Last year, they had 2 stretches of 20 innings or more where they didn't score any runs. So that's what you're talking about when we talk about this not being a new problem for the Phils. Well, the guy they'll face tonight is Chris Tillman. Now, last year he started slow, finished strong. He has started slow again this year for the Baltimore Orioles.
He has started slowly, and it's been in this ballpark where he's had a lot of issues. Yes, this ballpark's a very good ballpark to hit in, but he needs to be a little bit better if this team wants to make any progress in this very tight NL or American League East race.
Well, you caught him in the minor leagues, so you know what kind of pitcher he is or has the capabilities of being.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Tom, I thought he'd be a little bit farther along in his career. I had a chance to catch him in the minor league system with the Orioles, and I saw a guy that was a mid-90s guy, big overhand curveball, good changeup, and like I said, I think he'd be a little bit farther along. I think he's fallen in love with his cutter. He likes to throw it an awful lot. If you take a look back to his last 19 starts last season, this is the Orioles. They hope he can return to this form. 8-2 with a 2.34, and opponents only hitting 216 against him. So if they can get back to that form, I think they'll have a lot more success.
No, he's a big reason why last year they were able to win the American League East. They're hoping to have that same opportunity again here in 2015. Game 2 of this very quick series. Jerome Williams making his 14th start for the Phillies, 3-6 with an ERA of 5.71. When we return, lineups and first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. Orioles have taken the field, and Chris Tillman is warming up. There is Ryan Sandberg, who has juggled his lineup once again. Let's take a look at it. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading it off at second base, Cesar Hernandez. Odubel Herrera, the center fielder, bats second. Maikel Franco hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Chase Utley. Dominic Brown's in right field. He'll bat sixth. Hitting seventh is Cody Ashe. Batting 8th and catching is Carlos Ruiz, and batting 9th and playing shortstop is Freddie Galvis. And they will face 27-year-old right-hander Chris Tillman, 4-7 on the year, an earned run average of 5.68. He's allowed 7 home runs, a lot of base runners, and that's obviously one thing you look at with the starting pitcher, Ben. How many base runners, the whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, and he has 103 base runners in 65 innings of work.
The walks are what killing him this year. 33 walks, and that's the problem why his ERA is so high in this ballpark. You walk people, you're going to get hurt because a lot of home runs are hitters. Take a look at his scouting report. He will touch 94. He'll usually sit around 90, 91. Loves his cutter. He will throw that cutter over and over, and like I said at home this year, with a 7.28 ERA.
Well, he'll go to work against Cesar Hernandez. So the Phillies lineup different again tonight. It's Hernandez leading it off, then Odubel Herrera and Maikel Franco. Again, Ryan Sandberg trying to find any combination to try to get some offense going for the Phillies. Can't blame him for juggling it, trying to figure some things out. First pitch to Cesar Hernandez is upstairs. It's 1-0. You and I were commenting before the ball game that Hernandez hitting .229. His average may be light, but he has been working some counts. And we saw that even in last night's ball game.
And you can never count him out. Even if he's 0-2-1-2, he just seems to foul off pitches, make the pitcher throw some balls, and work himself back into the count.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cesar. And a curve ball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. He's got a 3-game hitting streak going right now. His road trip numbers 4 for 13. And now 3 balls and 1 strike. He's just missing in that same spot. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, is moving just a little bit toward the outer edge. And Hernandez taking all the way. Takes strike 2. It's 3-2. I don't think he purposely took a strike there. I think he thought that was off the plate, a lot like the other ones that were in that spot. Inside, ball 4, and Hernandez draws a walk, so the Phillies have the leadoff batter aboard here in the first. Home plate umpire tonight is Lance Barksdale. Gary Cederstrom is the crew chief. He's out at second base. Eric Cooper had the plate last night. I don't think either team was particularly happy with the way he consistently called balls or strikes. And here's Odubel Herrera. Herrera did not play in last night's game. He has just 7 hits during this month of June. Shows bunt, bunts toward third, and that's something I think he has to work on, Ben. I think he's got to be better at that if he eventually is the leadoff hitter again, or if he's going to bat second for the Phillies.
And he shows it a lot. I just don't see him getting a whole lot down. They don't get on the ground. They're either foul or he pops it up, and that is something, you're right, Tom, that he needs to work on.
Curveball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Tillman will dominate games with a fastball usually, but we have seen some curveballs so far in this first inning. He's got a very interesting motion. It's almost as if he starts twice. Not as much, obviously, when he's working from the stretch, but more from the windup. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Denise Mitchell of Pottstown. Denise, if the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's game, you are going to win $800.
Good luck, Denise.
Hernandez goes. The pitch is a strike, and Joseph drops the ball. A stolen base, the 3rd of the year for Cesar Hernandez. I don't know if they would have had him, but it was a decent ball to throw on because it was up in the zone.
But it was a breaking ball, so that is a little bit slower. But you're right, though. Those high breaking balls are good pitches to throw on, or the high pitches, I should say. You don't have to do a lot of footwork. It's not involved.
Well, now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Herrera. And a fastball just a bit low. It's 2-2. They are trying to get Odubel to break the habit of pointing on those pitches. Now, he lightly pointed there. They would like him to just put it into the hand of the umpire, allow him to make that decision. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Herrera. And a foul tip, and he's down on strikes. So 1 away here in the first. Boy, he took an awfully big swing. All right, it's time now for our Nissan keys to the game.
Keys to the game for me, Jerome needs to get into the 7th. The Phillies start and get more than 6 innings. This year, they're 11-4 as a staff. Jerome into the 7th and go deep, go deep, go deep. That was my key last night. It didn't happen. At some point, you got to hit some homers. I know Denise in Pottstown will be very happy.
Man, $800. Longest stretch this year without a home run for the Phils. They've gone 275 consecutive plate appearances without a home run. This would be 276 right here with Franco up. And Franco pops it up right side. Chris Davis, the first baseman, will settle in foul territory, and there are 2 outs.
Now that would not have scored Cesar Hernandez from third base, obviously, but you're right. They're Duval Herrera up. It's too big a swing. You're in this the 2-hole. You have a man at second base. Do whatever you can to get him to third base with less than 2 outs. And that, like I said, that would not have scored Cesar, but at least he's there. You have that opportunity. That changes your approach a little bit.
Well, the Phillies faced this same situation, 2 outs and a runner at second base with Howard in the Pittsburgh series, and he came through. That was the RBI that he has. Last night, he was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and he takes high. It's 1-0. Fortunately, Tillman is a little high with some of his offerings and off the outside part of the plate to these lefties. And that one's lined out to right field. Parmalee comes running in and makes the catch. And the side is retired. A leadoff walk and an eventual stolen base. And Cesar Hernandez is stranded out at second. We'll move on to the bottom of the first. .1,200 wins as a Major League Manager. Let's take a look at his starting lineup for tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Manny Machado leads off at third base, then Travis Snyder and Jimmy Paredes, the DH. Chris Davis is the cleanup batter at first. Chris Parmalee up from AAA. He'll bat fifth. J.J. Hardy sixth. The bottom third of Flaherty, Joseph, and Lowe. Making the start against Jerome Williams. Jerome 3-6. ERA of 5.71. As you said, Ben, it is imperative for him to find his way deep into this ball game.
It is very imperative. For the simple fact I mentioned before, if they get deeper, they throw more than 6 innings. As a starter, the team, they're 11-4. I mean, you look at the scouting report for Jerome Williams, he'll sit at 90, make it up to 92 or so, but curve change and his cutter. He has beaten the Orioles in the past, but he just needs to get quick outs. This is a very aggressive ball club. We'll get to that later in the ball game, but they will swing the bats early.
Yeah, he's 4-2 against the Orioles as Machado aggressively goes after the first pitch.
Right on cue.
Well, and I think that we've seen that a lot with Jerome Williams. I think that teams know. I mean, he is going to throw strikes.
Yes.
Machado 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. He is 7th in the American League in runs scored with 39. And he rips that one deep down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead. Man, it's as if he knew what was coming. A pitch that was up in the zone, and he crushed it for his 12th home run of the season. And it's his second career home run against Jerome Williams.
Gets a fastball in and just murders it out to left field. See how he cleared his hands, cleared his hips first, and then the hands came after that? It was funny. I was talking to Larry Anderson today. He said about his drive on the golf course today. He said, I got to clear my hips first, and then my hands came through. That's what he did on that inside fastball and peppered it out of here.
Travis Snider is now the hitter. Snider, .254 this year with a home run and 14 runs batted in. Is a guy the Orioles acquired this past January from the Pirates. The Pirates did not need the extra outfielder with all the young guys they had out there. He had a good year last year for Pittsburgh, though. Hit .264 with 13 home runs. Did not play every day. Played a good portion of the season. Takes low, 3-1. Manny Machado is not your typical leadoff hitter. He's got a lot of power. He does score runs. He has 40 runs scored now. A high pop-up over near the Orioles dugout. Chase Utley will give it a look. Ruiz too, and it's back in the seats. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Foul ball up the first base line. That'll spin foul. That remains 3-2. Last night it took until the 5th inning before the Orioles scored a run. Then they added 3 more in the 6th. And tonight they get a run here in the 1st.
It's definitely not the lineup that I thought Buck Showalter would run out there tonight, but.
Well, they've had an excellent homestand, and I guess he's thinking this is a chance to get some of the bench players involved. There's ball 4. Snyder takes low.
Then you travel to Philly tomorrow night and then have a day game on Thursday.
Well, tonight was the 11th first inning run for Jerome Williams in 14 starts. And, you know, Ben, you talked about 11-4 when the starters go more than 6 innings. You know, 7 games over 500 is outstanding, but you and I were talking about it. It's only 15 games that the starters have a decision when they go more than 6 innings. Paredes swings at the first pitch, not that deep, playable in left center field. And Odubel Herrera records the first out, 1 gone. And Chris Davis is coming up.
You look at stats all the time. Some are good, some are bad, some don't mean anything in my opinion, but you look at when they lead after 7 innings. They're 18-0. 18-0.
Yeah, it's Giles and Papelbon. Just got to get there with the lead. Davis with 13 home runs, 37 runs batted in. He does have Jerome Williams in his book. Freddie Galvis is in on the grass at shortstop, just in case Davis decides to lay down another bunt, as he did last night. Outside, 1-0. Outside again, 2 balls and no strikes to Davis. there is a ball to the right side to Cesar Hernandez, and Maikel Franco is going to have to receive the throw at second base. A lot of times we've seen this year, since Franco's been brought up, that when there's a runner on first and they have the shift on, he's not there. He's where Cesar Hernandez is, where the second baseman is. They flip-flop each other. And they're not doing it here. And ball four. He just walked him on 4 pitches. Close pitches, yes, but they have been called balls in this inning by Lance Barksdale. That's the second walk. Now the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Red Sox defeated the Braves 9-4. Brock Holt hit for the cycle. He finished that baby off in the 8th inning of today's game for the Boston Red Sox, playing third base for the Red Sox. 28 hits combined between the two teams.
Brock Holt, he's the kind of guy, he's like a Josh Harrison to me. He can play all over the field, scrappy guy, gets the job done. Bottom line.
Juan Samuel is directing the outfielders. I saw Larry Boa on the phone. He wasn't calling the bullpen. That one's lined over the glove of Cesar Hernandez by Parmalee for a base hit. Rounding third and holding there is Snyder. So the bases are now loaded with one man down. Chris Parmalee, who had an opt-out clause in his contracts that was coming up, was brought up today. And last night's starter, Wei-Yin Chen, was sent to Single-A Frederick. A very obscure move, but it's because the Orioles wanted an extra bat over the next few games. They have the luxury of not needing that 5th starter right now.
Buck does things differently, but he's going to miss a start here in the big leagues. He has to be down for at least 10 days.
Right.
And he's their best pitcher. And they're in a tight race in the AL East.
There's J.J. Hardy, and Hardy takes the first pitch. It's 0-1. Well, he said he wants another bat in this lineup or off the bench over the next several days. Hardy takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'll tell you, Parmalee put up some numbers down there in AAA. 312, 13 doubles, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs in 61 games. That park is huge in Norfolk, or as they say, Norfolk.
1 ball, 1 strike to Hardy, the infield back. And that one's hit sharply through the middle of base hit. 1 run is in. Rounding third and being held there is Davis. And it's now 2-0 in favor of the Orioles, and still 1 man down here in the bottom of the 1st inning. So Bob McClure heading out. All right, Ben, I mean, you were behind the plate for a number of years. It just seems like everything is up, out, over the plate. Nothing is down, nothing's in. Everything's right where a hitter would want it to be.
Yeah, I think the 0-1 count to Machado and threw a fastball in and he yanked it out for a home run. I don't know if that got to Jerome at all or he feels like he can't go back in there, but I see him just working away. These guys are diving out over the plate.
Would you want to see more cutters from Jerome?
Well, I mean, can't walk people. You know, he's got 2 walks already in this ball game, in this ballpark. That's just recipe for disaster.
I would think Carlos Ruiz's mind is sort of moving a mile a minute. How can I fix this from behind the plate?
Well, you know what? I think Jerome's the kind of guy you can go out there and get in his tail a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be offended by it. Some guys do. Some guys cower to that. Some guys respond positively to that.
Here's Ryan Flaherty, and he takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes with a curveball.
Jerome wanted that pitch.
Well, let's face it. There are pitches that have been very close tonight in this 1st inning, or only in the 1st inning, to both pitchers. But Lance Barksdale is starting to establish something, so you kind of have to go with what he's establishing. Swing and a miss. Threw him a changeup. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Flaherty, hitting .242, 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. hitless in last night's ball game. In fact, he was struck out 2 different times. Grounder foul. Trying to minimize the damage here in the first. He's already thrown 21 pitches. Somehow rolls a double play ball here. And it's only 2 runs at this point. Well, he did try the cutter there. It just slipped inside a little too far. Now it's 3-2 with 1 man down. See, the bases are loaded. You have Davis at third. Parmalee, you saw at second. That's J.J. Hardy. And there's the on-deck batter, Caleb Joseph.
Roll one over.
And a line drive base hit it to right field. 1 run will score. And rounding third and heading for home is Parmalee. The throw by Dominic Brown, not in time. It's 4-0 Orioles. A 2-run single for Flaherty, who had been 0 for his last 7 before that hit. Not a whole lot of options for the Phillies, but I think they got to get somebody up in the bullpen. I think they got to change the look here.
Tries the front door of that sinker there, and I don't know if that's the opportune time. 3-2. Ball again was elevated. Parmalee with a good read. That line drive just snuck over Cesar's head. A good read to be able to score.
Well, here's Caleb Joseph, the number 8 batter, with runners on first and second, and he takes on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
Joseph has done a phenomenal job with Wieters on the shelf. He's done a great job. 250 with 5 and 20 RBIs.
I think the other thing too is you look at his record. Orioles are 28-4 when he's behind the plate. Fly ball to right field. Dominic Brown comes under it. Hardy doesn't tag, and there are 2 outs. So 2 away. David Lowe is the batter. David Lowe hitting .233. He has 2 home runs. He is from Mercyhurst College in Erie, Pennsylvania. Originally was part of the Kansas City Royals organization, and the Orioles acquired him. He played 112 games last year for the Orioles. Hit .242 as a reserve. Waves at a breaking ball. 0-1.
Would I be going out on a limb saying he's the only big leaguer to come out of Mercyhurst?
You know what? We can check that. Swing and a miss. 0-2. In the dirt, gets right between the 5-hole of Carlos Ruiz. The runners will move up, and that'll be second and third now with 2 men down.
It's a tweener. We used to call these tweeners. As a catcher, you didn't know whether to go down and block it or just go ahead and pick it. If it's short enough, you can just go ahead and pick it. Chooch goes and try and pick it, but doesn't keep his glove down enough. The ball just scoots underneath.
By the way, Lowe is the 3rd major leaguer from Mercyhurst. In the dirt, gets away from Ruiz again, over toward the Phillies dugout. One run is in, and here comes Flaherty. He's going to try to score. The throw to the plate, he dropped the ball. 2-run score, and Jerome Williams is hurt. He may have been spiked as Flaherty came in. That's aggressive base running right there, and now it's 6-0 in favor of the Orioles. Back-to-back wild pitches for Jerome. Oh, yeah, he wasn't spiked. I think he just may have stretched a little bit too much there.
That looks like a groin.
Yep. But that seemed to be all on Flaherty, too. It looked like he read that the entire time. So Jerome will go limping off. I mean, he did a full split. That is a big man to do a full split.
He was grabbing his left hamstring. I thought it was going to be his right groin. But you see there, he started to wince and grab that left hammy there. Boy, when it rains, it pours, huh, Tom?
This is an inning that we haven't seen this year from the Phillies. With everything that we've seen, Dustin McGowan will take over. He'll have all the time he needs to loosen up. Phillies down 6-0 here in the first. Colton, Tim McManus, Bob Cooney, and Ben. The Breakfast on Broad set will never be the same. The Philly Fanatic will be making his first appearance on the show. Wake up with Breakfast on Broad tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 on the Comcast Network. Well, Here's Dustin McGowan who will take over for Jerome Williams. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. The Orioles have scored 6 runs, and Jerome left with an injury to his leg. And it is David Lowe who's at the plate. And a call, strike 3. Just 1 pitch for McGowan, and the side is finally retired. 6 runs scored, 2 wild pitches in the inning, and 4 hits. It all began with Manny Machado's home run. Pitches in the bottom of the first inning. All right, Mr. Catcher, what happened here?
Well, he doesn't get over top of the baseball. He needs to get over top of the ball and slide, move laterally. He does make a good throw here to Jerome. Unfortunately, Jerome just not able to make the play at home plate. If anything, he could have gone after that ball, I think, with a little more pace. Get over that ball in front of that dugout. Flaherty, good job at base running, taking advantage of it.
He sure did. Chase Utley leads it off. Utley takes a strike. It's 0-1. Yeah, you and I were talking even about the first wild pitch, and you discussed how it's a tweener for a catcher.
Yeah.
But even that one, Carlos, I would think would want to do it over again and get down on it instead of trying to backhand it. Utley takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chase, who is hitting .187, 4 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Playing first base tonight as a starter for the 11th time in his career. And he pulls it into right field. Here comes Parmalee, and he makes the running catch. So 1 away here in the top of the second, and Dominic Brown is due up. Dominic playing in just his 2nd game since being brought up on Sunday. He was hitting .257 with just 2 home runs, 26 RBIs at AAA. A tad low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
I wouldn't even call that a windup, Tom. It's almost like he's just out of the stretch.
It is different, though, isn't it?
It's a jab step with his left foot, and then it's just like he's up in the stretch.
Well, we mentioned during the opening, you caught him. This is a little different than what he used to be like. Is that correct?
It is. I mean, he's a big guy. You can see that. He's a big dude. But every now and again you'll get somebody and you're thinking, all right, this guy's going to have a long career with some big numbers. I mean, what he was doing in Double-A when I had him, it was mowing through people.
Dominic fouls it down the left field line. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, he always had a bit of a cut on his fastball. Naturally. But now it seems like he's trying to make a cut. And we're looking at 70 in this starts this year, 72% of his pitches are fastballs.
The Orioles play Dominic Brown the same way they play Ryan Howard, with the second baseman in shallow right field. A bit of a battle going on here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A high fly ball to right center field, playable for Parmalee, and there are 2 outs. This weekend, the Phillies will take on the St. Louis Cardinals in a 3-game series. Reminder that Saturday, it was at one point a 3:05 start. It's now a 7:05 game for those of you that have tickets for. They changed that a couple months ago. It's Fans Feeding Families Night. Ryan Sandberg and his wife Margaret are heavily involved in that. Sunday is Chevrolet Father's Appreciation Day. A free 1960s Phillies cap to all men 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Cody Ashe 1 for 3 last night. Picked up a single. Phillies didn't manage a whole lot from Wei-In Chen. Wei-In Chen had 12 ground ball outs in last night's game. Fly ball left field, playable for Travis Snyder. So 3 fly ball outs, 2 to right, 1 to left, and Chris Tillman is through the second. So we'll go to the bottom of the second inning, and the same guy that led off the bottom of the first will start things for the O's. Brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. Well, Ben, he got a pitch that was up and toward the inner half, and he crushed it.
He did crush it. One thing Manny Machado does is he does stay inside the base. We don't see him hook many balls, and that's the ball that was in. A lot of guys get out and around that baseball. He stays through it, and that's the Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
Yeah, that was his last at bat. And Murph, this isn't really anything new for the Orioles fans, and particularly this isn't anything new for this past week.
Well, it certainly is not. In fact, yesterday, Tom, we talked a little bit about Manny Machado. In fact, the month of June for him has been absolutely terrific. He started off pretty good this year, but he's really turned it on in June. And, of course, this week was just named the American League Player of the Week with numbers like this: 8 for 14, batting .458. He had 2 home runs, 9 runs scored, and 5 RBIs in a week's time. time, and then he adds to that with the encore with the leadoff home run in this game. So I think it's safe to say that Manny Machado is officially red hot for the Orioles right now.
Yeah, we mentioned that he's not your typical leadoff hitter, but then again, around baseball, I don't know if there is consistently, I mean, there's some, but consistently a typical leadoff hitter.
Yeah, there are a few, but there's no more the Ricky Henderson where he's going to get on, steal a base, looking to steal a bag every chance he gets. It really isn't.
Fouls it back, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Jacoby Ellsbury, although he's injured, he's been injured sometimes this year for the Yankees. I mean, he could be close to it because he can hit for power, get on base, steal bags. 2 balls, 1 strike to Machado. Out toward left center field. Odubel Herrera's on the run. He's not going to get this one, and it's gone. 2 home runs in 2 ABs in 2 innings for Manny Machado. 7-0 Orioles on top.
That's good hitting. Watch him go down and watch him extension through the baseball. He gets to the ball and out away from his body. He gets his hands and he just separates them, drives it into the bullpen. That's a good piece of hitting. That pitch was down.
Yeah, it was. Kind of what we talked about with Todd Frazier, how he gets the ball out front.
Yes.
It's his 3rd 2-home run game of the season. He has 13 and now 32 runs batted in.
And when you extend through the ball like that, you create backspin. Backspin is what keeps the ball in the air and it enables that ball to carry.
Travis Snyder walked in the 1st inning and came around to score. Pitch, threw him an off-speed pitch. It's 2-2.
Change up there?
Looked like it.
It sure did. We've pretty much just seen him fastball slider.
Little dribbler in front of the plate. McGowan off the mounds.
That is a changeup.
There's one away here in the 2nd inning. On Sunday, June 28th, all fans 14 under get a great giveaway. They come see the Phils play the Washington Nationals. It's the Fanatic alternate style jersey. Compliments of Pico. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Jimmy Paredes fly to center his first time up. Swing and a miss. There's that slider that we were talking about.
My brother just texted me. He said, that was a good pitch Machado hit out. He said it was a good pitch and he still left. He's a talented man.
It's pulled out toward right. That's well hit. Dominic Brown turns and watches it go into the 1st row. 3rd home run of the night for the Orioles. Another solo shot. All 3 solos. And it's 8-0 Baltimore. That's his 7th of the year.
I guess Buck Showalter knew something we didn't. You got Jones and Reimold, Young, Pearson, Wieters on the bench. That's a good swing. Now that, I will say, Tom, is a Camden Yards home run.
373 out in that general area above where the grounds crew sits. Outside, 1-0. By the way, the grounds crew has great seats here at Camden Yards. Just to the right of the 373 sign in right center field.
Yes, they do.
2 balls and no strikes.
All 612 of them.
Kevin Correa He's going to start tomorrow against Ubaldo Jimenez. So he's taking some mental notes right now about this Orioles lineup.
It's funny to me how the starting pitcher is no longer a chart.
They do in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
That one's hit deep. It's going to go foul, but it's deep. Two balls, 2 strikes to Chris Davis. He walked his first time up. Got him. He snuck a fastball right on by him. Second strikeout for McGowan. And with 2 outs, Chris Parmelee's coming up. Mentioned earlier that Parmelee was playing in AAA where he's hitting .312 with 6 home runs, 32 RBIs. The former Minnesota Twin. A lot of times the veterans who go from team to team, like Kevin Correa, have an opt-out clause in their contracts. Well, Parmelee's opt-out clause was upon the Orioles, so they had to decide, all right, we're going to bring him up. He's hitting the ball pretty well down the AAA, or are we going to leave him down there and let him stew a little bit, and then he has to decide whether he wants to stay or go look for another job elsewhere. So they decided to bring him up.
How many outfielders can you have there, Tom?
Yeah, we haven't seen Delman Young in this series. We thought we would. We might see him in Philadelphia in the next couple of years, or next couple of days. On the outside corner, it's 1-2. Grounded foul. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. They are roughing up Nate Eovaldi, their former teammate. The Marlins are. They lead at 8-0 in the top of the second. Marcelo Ozuna, a 2-run single. That's only part of the story in that game. They picked up Eovaldi, the Yankees did, and Garrett Jones this past offseason. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside, and it's 3-2. Mentioned that they sent Chen out to single-A Frederick as Parmelee hits that one to deep right center field, and that one's not coming back. That's going to be a long home run. That's not only a Camden Yards home run, that's a home run anyway. Third solo home run of the inning for the Orioles. Their 4th overall. 9-0 Baltimore.
I mentioned before, the numbers he had, for people that don't know, that field down in Norfolk, the Norfolk Tides, that is a huge yard. There's a good piece of hitting here. Nitro zone for a lefty. Down and in. That ball is well out of here.
Well, now J.J. Hardy is the batter. And Hardy takes a strike. It's 0-1. Anyway, Chen will pitch 4 innings on Saturday in single-A Frederick. And the reason is, Buck Showalter said before the ball game, we didn't mention this earlier, is that he has trouble a start after a long start. And they're a little concerned about that. At least that's their reasoning. So they're going to let him pitch 4 innings on Saturday, and he'll be back up on the 26th of June to pitch in the big leagues. So we wondered if there was a reason. That is the reason. 0-2 pitch to Hardy. And that's a chopper up the third base line, and it rolls foul. Thought it was going to die in the grass there for a moment. So Hardy's going to come back.
I have never heard that before. Not like they were stressful innings, though. 8 innings, they never got into trouble.
Yeah, just over 100 pitches. Well, they see him more than we do. I'm not sure how he is after these long outings, if that's considered a long outing pitch-wise. Ben, I promised you an explanation. I was looking for one.
Shaking my head.
0-2 pitch up high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball. So 3 strikeouts from McGowan, but also 3 home runs in this short outing for him. So Manny Machado has 2 homers. This is the first one. Pretty good shot down the line and left. This is the second one of this inning. Got it out front. Hit it out to left center field. Commanding lead for the Orioles. They're up 9-0. And Ben, please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, with no help from your brother, which Hall of Fame pitcher started Game 3 of the 1983 World Series between the Phillies and the Orioles?
Game 3.
Yeah, a heck of a matchup. Answer will be revealed a little later on. Carlos Ruiz will lead things off for the Phils. It'll be Ruiz, Galvis, and Cesar Hernandez. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1.
Was he an underwear model?
One of them was. Outside and low, 1-1. I didn't look, but very often he is here in the ballpark when the Orioles play. One of them is. Had a play to the right for Carlos Ruiz. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phillies now 23 innings without scoring a run. Phillies went 23 innings last year during the month of May without scoring a run. Fly ball to right field, playable for Parmalee. Fourth put out now for Parmalee. Freddie Galvis is due up. Well, Murph, we've talked often about the bats that Freddie Galvis has utilized this year, and he might be tinkering once again.
He is tinkering once again. Ryan Sandberg talking about Freddie and what he's trying to do as he tries to, continue to break out of the slump. We remember the April that he had and how good he was hitting the ball, and there was so much talk about how he had changed his approach. Well, Ryan Sandberg told the reporters today that gathered before the game that a couple of days ago he switched back to the bats that he was using during spring training. And they have a little bit of a wider handle, which doesn't allow him to get down on the knob at the end. You'll see he's almost like an inch above. You see the handle right there. And it just kind of shortens everything. It shortens his swing. It doesn't allow him to get real long. And we saw last night he hit a couple of line drives. He didn't get any hits last night, but he did have a line drive, I remember, to first base that Davis caught. But it was that short, compact swing that we were seeing earlier in the season. That's what he's attempting to get back to, using a different bat. And Ryan Sandberg also went on to say that Chase Utley also used that bat last night as he tries to find maybe a little bit shorter swing nowadays. Now, it didn't look like he used that bat in his first at bat. We'll have to check it when it comes back up again. But Freddie Galvis is definitely using it at this point.
Yeah, he looked like he was using his normal Marucci, the black bat.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if it helps Freddie, who is 3 for 20 on this road trip.
That U1 has a flared knob. It doesn't really have a knob, just a flared handle, I guess you could say.
It's almost as if the knob is whittled off it. But it remains 2-2. That's the look right there to the left, right, Ben? That's the one.
Yep.
See the difference between them.
Here you see this one has an actual knob on it, and this is the U1. It's just a flared little knob.
And there's a line drive, base hit it to center field. So the first hit of the night for the Phils. For the Phillies fans, and there are a lot of them. We'll come down to watch tonight's ball game. Wednesday, July 1st, Thursday, July 2nd. You want to stay for the game and then for the Xfinity fireworks shows at the ballpark. Tickets can be purchased for that series against the Brewers, including those two games, by going to Phillies.com. The second is a 6:35 start. Cesar Hernandez walked his first time up. And he takes a strike, letter high. It's 0-1. At the knees, 0-2. Chopper back toward the middle, handled by Flaherty. He gets 1 and 2. 4-6-3 double play. Nifty turn by Hardy at second base. And the Phillies are retired here in the top of the third. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left on to the bottom of the third inning. Health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. And buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Last of the third. Yep, that score's right. It's 9-0 Orioles on top. Orioles have hit 4 home runs. All 4 are solo shots. Dustin McGowan's in for the injured Jerome Williams. Jerome injured himself in the first inning. We haven't got a report on him. Hopefully he's okay, but he was limping off in a lot of pain. Next pitch is outside and high. Ryan Flaherty singled home 2 runs his last time up. I was coming back down 95 today from the Carpenter Cup games that were held up in Philadelphia, and there were a lot of Phillies fans just coming on down as well. Had a chance to see this beautiful ballpark. I know it's not going all that well for the Phillies at this point, but it is nice to get out and also see parks like this. This was the original that eventually led to Citizens Bank Park being as beautiful as it is. After a trip down to see this ballpark when it opened. That's what Bill Giles and the ownership group said. This is what we have to do here in Philadelphia. And boy, oh boy, were they right.
It's still in great shape.
It is.
Concourses are clean. Beautiful.
Yeah, they've redone a lot of it. They've cleaned up a lot of it over the years. Three balls, 1 strike to Flaherty. And he fouls it back. It's 3-2.
So after you return home tonight, how many miles would you have put on your truck since Sunday night?
That is an excellent question. Well, I would say about 450 maybe.
I would say I'd take the over.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Now the 3-2 pitch. Up high, ball 4. Yeah, maybe closer to 600. It's a sturdy vehicle, though, Ben.
Yes, it is.
Got to see some very good games, though, today up at the complex next to Citizens Bank Park. The brand new fields that were unveiled last week. That's where the Carpenter Cup was played today. And even with the rain, it didn't matter. The field held up beautifully. It's the 30th annual Carpenter Cup. And today I saw Berks County, Pennsylvania, beat the Interact Conference. It was a very good ball game. 1-run victory. It was a 5-4 win. Up and in to Caleb Joseph. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Must have been a limit of how many Malvern Preppers you could put on there.
There were some Malvern Preppers on that team. And then game 2, I only saw the first few innings of that one, 5 or 6 innings of that game. And the Philadelphia Catholic League pulled out a 3-2 victory over Mercer County with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ground ball over to third. Franco has it, then bobbles. He'll have a play at first, and he throws high, and Utley's off the bag, and he drops it. Well, that'll be an E5 to put runners on first and second.
Just because you're in a ball game, it's 9-0. You still have to keep your mind in the ball game.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say that was tailor-made, but you have a catcher running, and not even to get 1 out is inexcusable.
Yeah, and his footwork was way off, even when he bobbled it to make that throw over to first base. Yes, the Phillies have given up 4 home runs in this ball game tonight, but they have not played clean. And the 2 wild pitches were a big part of the damage in the first inning. And now the error here by Michael Franco. That pitch is a little inside and low, I guess, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to David Lowe. That one is golfed deep to right field. It is gone. That is a shot A 3-run home run. It's 12-0 Baltimore.
Again, nitro zone for lefty. Down and in. Look at that. Good swing there by David Lowe.
Here's Manny Machado, and he takes Lowe and in 1-0. We're in the third inning, and the Orioles lead the Phillies 12-0. 5 home runs in this ball game. That's a rocket right at Franco on one hop. Easy throw over. Well, Buck Showalter's team is red hot. I mean, smoking hot. And they're showing it here tonight. They may not have shown it last night, but they're showing it here tonight. There's really not much that Ryan Sandberg and Bob McClure could do here. Travis Snyder 0 for 1. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. We'll say this. People say that the American League East may be the weakest division in the American League out of the 3. I don't know. We saw the Blue Jays a lot in spring training. We see the Yankees, and we'll see them next week up in New York. There's a whole lot of offense in the American League East.
I agree with that.
Swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. And there's ball 4. So Snyder's walked for the 3rd time. And we're only in the 3rd inning. Excuse me, for the 2nd time. We're only in the 3rd inning. He's been up 3 times. And here is Jimmy Paredes, who's also up for the 3rd time. He homered his last time up.
It's already the 4th walk. Phillies pitching. Four walks and 5 homers in the 3rd.
Ball foul toward the Orioles dugout. Well, it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. You know, Ben, you talked about this Orioles team being very aggressive. Well, highest percentage of swings. You have 3 of the Orioles who are among the American League leaders. Delman Young, who we haven't seen, Paredes, and Adam Jones. They're not too far behind. There's Delman.
That's hard to believe. 3 out of the top 5. And 2 are not playing tonight.
Just a bit outside, 2-2.
Certain guys come to mind that are like that. Vladimir Guerrero was always a guy, and he was swinging on his way to the batter's box.
I think Pablo Sandoval is that guy now.
Yep. Jeff Francoeur swings the bat an awful lot.
Two balls, two strikes. And that one's hit sharply to second. Hernandez has got it. He stumbles for one, and there is the double play. 4-6-3 double play. The ball was hit on the line by Paredes. 3-run score and a 3-run home run for the O's. They're up 12-0. Around the water cooler. WB Mason offers free same-day delivery of 5-gallon Blizzard spring water bottles with no minimums or hidden fees. Plenty of water today. You got to have it. It has been hot in the Delaware Valley and even down here at Baltimore. They didn't get the rain that we got in Philadelphia today. Just passing showers. Blue skies right now. That little guy's ready to go. She's got her nature's elixir. Odubel Herrera will lead it off. It'll be Herrera, Franco, and Ryan Howard. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. You know, I always hear different stories about pitchers who say sometimes it's tougher to pitch with a big lead. Well, heck, if I got a 12-0 lead, I'm not going to think that's difficult at all.
No. But you still have to continue to pitch. You still have to pitch your game, attack the hitters the way the scouting report tells you to, or the way you think you can get them out most effectively.
One ball, one strike to Herrera. And it's low, 2-1.
You let your foot off the gas, that's when you start to get hurt.
Yeah, I guess if you're somebody like Chris Tillman or any pitcher that's in this boat with the advantage 12-0, you just got to kind of push aside the score and just continue with your game plan, whatever that game plan is. That one's out toward right center field. That's a pretty well hit ball. Lowe's not going to get it. It's off the wall, and Herrera is going to pull into second with a stand-up double. Just the second hit for the Phils, their first extra base hit. And now they're in scoring position with Michael Franco coming up. This ball scolded. And again, not that batting practice translates into a good game, but a very,
very good batting practice by Odubel Herrera today. A lot of line drives. He hit that ball like you just saw over and over and repeated it.
Maikel Franco hitless in his last 10 at bats. Here's another one of those spots for the Phils. Runner at second base and nobody out. Let's see what they can do. They've got the middle of the lineup up here. Franco, Howard, and Utley. In the dirt. Good job by Joseph.
Throw the flag on that one. There was not a receiver in the vicinity.
Sometimes I would think that has to make you chuckle as a catcher when something's that short.
You just wonder how that happens.
Little tight 2-2. And he popped him up right side. Second baseman Flaherty is there. He says he has it. And one away here in the fourth. Ryan Howard's coming up to the plate. Odubel still at second base. Howard lined out sharply to right field his first time up to Parmalee.
Ryan's first at bat since the first inning. About an hour ago.
Yeah, a little different from one side to the other.
You're right, though. He did smoke that ball his first AB. Parmalee's been busy out there. 4 putouts tonight.
There's ball 4. Howard draws a 4-pitch walk. Chase Utley is coming up. Phillies Baseball Academy is open for boys and girls aged 6 to 14. You get professional coaching and skill development for the Phillies players, coaches, and Baseball Academy instructors. It includes official Phillies Baseball Academy uniform, a trip to Citizens Bank Park, a camper reunion night. Go to philliescamps.com for more information or call 610-520-3400. Chase Utley lined out to right his first time up. He takes a breaking ball and it's 0-1. Back-to-back breaking balls to Utley. 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's check in with Greg Murphy with an update. Murph.
All right, Tom, just getting word from inside the Phillies clubhouse on Jerome Williams. The injury to him, left hamstring strain, is what we're being told right now, which is what we thought of when he did the split and grabbed the back of his leg. So left hamstring strain is the official word right now on Jerome.
That one's a hit out towards center field, playable for Lowe. Herrera's going to tag. Lowe's throw going to third on the air and is not in time. It gets away from Machado. There are 2 outs here in the 4th inning. I'm sure Jerome will be reevaluated tomorrow in Philadelphia.
We just hope it's not something that's going to linger and linger, because you know how hamstrings are. Hamstrings, groins seem to linger more than you'd like. They affect everything you do, seemingly.
Dominic Brown fly to right his only time up. He's 0 for 1. And Dominic slices it foul. It's a no balls and 1 strike. Pull toward the hole, under the glove of Davis, flagged down by Flaherty. Everybody will be safe, and the Phillies score a run, and the streak is over. I don't think the Phillies fans know about it. 24 innings, 24 2/3 to be exact, without scoring a run, and the Phillies finally do it here in the 4th inning of tonight's ball game against the Orioles.
He just kind of catches Chris Davis off guard. It wasn't hit terribly hard. It was almost like a changeup. He didn't know where to put his glove. And I'll tell you what, Don Brown should be very happy at Odubel Herrera tagged up on that play, and he would not have made it home from second base on that.
And they do score a base hit for Don Brown, his first hit of the year. The ball gets away from Joseph and kicks up the first base line. Howard is going to stop at third, though. Howard to third, Brown up to second. And a wild pitch. The ball, no strikes to Ashe. Ashe fly to left his first time up. Too much that Buck can be upset about here tonight. Swing and a miss, 1-1. 92 on that fastball. Good spot to hit it. Off the hands, over the screen, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cody Ashe. Phillies tonight have picked up 3 hits. The Orioles with 8 hits, 12 runs on 8 hits for the Orioles, 1 run on 3 hits for the Phils. Runners lead off, second and third. And Ashe pulls that one right past the behind of Juan Samuel. And it remains 2-2. Fly ball, center field. David Lowe wanders out. He's under it. And makes the catch. Side is retired. Phillies, though, do score a run and an RBI single by Dominic Brown. They're on the board. Go to the bottom of the fourth. It's a 12-1 game. Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Valle Honda dealer or just visit DelValleHondaDealers.com today. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Bottom of the fourth inning. Chris Davis will lead things off for the Orioles. They're on top 12-1. Phillies will get their defensive alignment set. Davis has walked and struck out today. Scored a run back at the first. Struck out his last time up. Waiting for the security guard to run back into the bullpen area. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Remember a few years back when there was a fan that ran out to the field here at Baltimore. Now they have the security guys come out with police officers out from the bullpen, and they come out and line part of the outfield just to make sure that there's no shenanigans. 0-2, and that's why there's usually a stoppage of play, a little longer stoppage of play.
Shenanigans?
Yeah. Tomfoolery. Way upstairs, 1-2. Ball, 2 strikes to Chris Davis. Outside, and it's 2-2. That one's hit well. That's not coming back. That is going to be a long, towering home run for Chris Davis. They better watch the windows out at the B&O warehouse. Another solo home run. This one's his 14th of the year. 6 home runs in this game for the Orioles. Even if they had closed the gates out there, it still would have gone over.
Mercy me. One bounce off the window of the warehouse. Amazing. Pulls his hands through and creates some backspin. See the ball bounce once and right off the window and onto the arm.
Well, here is Parmalee. He homered his last time up. Oh man, look out. He's 3 for 3. He doesn't want to go back down to the minor leagues. Debut with the Orioles. So Davis's home run is 14th. He now has 38 runs batted in. pretty good bounce back year considering what happened last year, testing positive for an illegal substance. J.J. Hardy's the batter. Hardy's 1 for 2. He's hit in 9 consecutive games, including tonight. Chase Utley's not even going to hold Parmelee over first base. So Chase making his 12th career start. I should say 11th career start over at first base. He's been taking ground balls over there for a while, but he's really amped it up over the last couple of days. Since Darren Ruff was sent down, they have other options if they choose to. Andres Blanco could play over there, but they want Chase to be able to play in case there's a double switch, or in cases like this, playing for Ryan Howard, getting Howard off his feet, allowing him to DH. Now it's 3-0 to J.J. Hardy. By the way, that's the 7th time that Chris Davis has hit Utah Street on a home run, which is obviously the street that's in front of the B&O warehouse. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Still remember Ken Griffey Jr. here in the All-Star game, the home run contest.
Boom. Boom.
That was a spectacle.
Over toward the hole. Galvis hustling to it. Has it. Slides. Throws a one-hopper. Not in time to get Parmelee. That'll be an infield hit.
Finding all different kinds of ways to get hits tonight.
It's a heck of an effort by Freddie Galvis, who was shaded toward the middle to try to get to the hole. Make that play. So now Flaherty. Flaherty's been up 3 times. He is 1 for 1. He walked his last time. He has scored 2, driven in 2. Had a foul ball. It's 0-1.
Snyder and Joseph, the only 2 Orioles in the lineup without a hit this evening.
Well, they're 1 away from the record, by the way, of home runs in a game. They have 6. It is 7. They've done it 3 times. Let's hope they don't hit that record. One ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball back to the box. This could be 2. There's 1. Good job by Freddie Galvis. He went right at J.J. Hardy to make sure he had that double play. 1-6-3. 2 outs. Runner at third. Perfectly executed by the Phils.
Yes, it was. It all starts with a throw from the pitcher. Gets a good feed right to Freddie. Chest to chest to chest.
Caleb Joseph takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Check swing, foul ball, 0-2. You remember some long home runs that you hit here during batting practice left-handed? I know you didn't hit any in a game.
Right.
You hit well over 300 here.
Yes.
Do you remember hitting any out onto the warehouse?
Not onto the warehouse, but It's always fun to take BP here.
I would think it has to be if you're batting left-handed. No balls, 2 strikes to Joseph. Outside, and it's 1-2.
Ben Revere is making a mockery of this place yesterday.
Well, that's where Ken Griffey Jr. hit one 465 feet during the All-Star game that you were talking about. They've commemorated that, much like stadiums have done in the seats in certain places. They used to do it at the vet.
Willie Stargell's
RFK
comes to mind.
Yep.
And the big star up there for Willie. Right field at the vet.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Joseph, and he blows him away with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Side is retired. The Orioles hit another home run. 3 innings of work for Dustin McGowan, 3 1/3. We'll go to the 5th inning. The Orioles on top, 13-1. The fans trivia quiz answer. All right, Ben, here we go. Which Hall of Fame pitchers started Game 3 of the '83 World Series between the Phillies and the Orioles?
Hall of Fame pitchers. Well, I'm going to say Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton is correct. That's one.
And Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Orioles won that game 3-2. 65,792. There you see the statue of Jim Palmer at the vet for that ball game.
And just so we're clear, Jim Palmer was the underwear model.
Correct. Carlos Ruiz is the count, 1-1 strike. He hits this one to shallow right field. Flaherty says he has it. Parmalee's there as well, and Parmalee makes the catch. First time they're working together. It's pretty athletic play by Parmalee. I mean, the body was there, and he was still able to make sort of a basket grab on that.
He just wanted his 5th put out. That was a very good play, though, and Flaherty does the right thing of putting his glove down. And you're right, we're not used to playing with each other. That communication, that is something you develop throughout the course of a year or throughout the course of a career.
Freddie Galvis singled his first time up, and he takes a little outside. It's 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Galvis. Galvis goes after a high pitch and he fouls it away, and it remains 1-2. Phillies have not been swept in 3 straight series since 1989 on the road. And they trail this one 12-1 as Galvis punches it to the right side. Machado throws him out. 2 away. Back to the top of the order. Cesar Hernandez is coming up, and it's time to go to Murph. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. And on that same vein of what you're just talking about, it's time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. And this one it's really hard to believe. The only winless road trip of 8 games or longer in Phillies history was the team's first season back in 1883. They were 0-9 on a road trip in Boston, New York, and Providence. And that was back in August 11th through the 24th. You know, down here, obviously big, 13-1. This would be 9 straight, 9 on this road trip. First time in their history, Phillies history, and it is a long one that they would reach that point.
Well, it's remarkable, and you know the fans that are hanging in there watching this. I mean, they understand everything that's going on. It's a combination of things. It's not just one. I mean, we talked about the offense during the open, but it's the starting pitching not getting deep. It's misplays on the field, misplays on the base path.
Yeah, and I just said 9 games, 8 game. This is game 8 on this road trip.
Right. Check swing. 2 balls and 1 strike to Hernandez. Folks wondering about that Providence team. They were known as the Providence Rays. Just a bit outside.
1883.
1883.
Tells you a little bit about this long and storied history. The world's greatest game.
A liner out toward left field. And it's tracked down by Snyder. And the side is retired. Phillies go down in order in their half of the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And they trail at 13-1. Folks at Citizens Bank. The Phillies Junior RBI League has been teaching kids how to play the game since 1989. Donate a baseball glove or 2 to the next generation of baseball greats at the Citizens Bank kiosk at Citizens Bank Park. The kiosk is located down the right field line at Citizens Bank Park. If you do have anything that you'd like to donate, you're always in need. We're on to the 5th inning. Justin DeFreitas will take over for Dustin McGowan. So the numbers on DeFreitas, 30 games so far, 3.38 ERA. The other thing, the Phillies obviously will have to make a move with Jerome Williams, depending on his injury. And they're right back at it tomorrow, so I'm sure they're already thinking about that, how they can make some adjustments to the bullpen. Here's David Lowe. Lowe hit a 3-run home run his last time up. He's 1 for 2. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. run for Lowe was his 3rd of the year. He has 10 RBIs now. In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Want to do a little dance in there.
Tell you what, it is nice to see David Lowe. You talk about how guys wear their uniform. It's nice to see him wear pants that actually fit. You know what I'm saying? You look at Machado's on deck, they look like pajamas. But Lowe, that's a good way to wear your uniform. You agree, Tom?
Yeah, he does look good. Now, Joey Votto probably a little tight, the way he wears it.
No, I think that's better looking than
the baggy pants.
Yeah, like Machado's on deck. They really like CC Sabathia. Look at those things. They look like pajamas. They'd be long on Randy Johnson.
He likes a little freedom, Ben.
I guess.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
To each his own, Tom.
What do you think about DeFreitas? DeFreitas, his arm too baggy, right?
No, they're okay. They stack at the bottom way too much.
Like a pair of khakis.
Yeah.
Off the end of the bat, that'll roll foul. And it remains 1 and 2.
A little fun fact for you, Tom. You know, people that wear jeans, mostly Wranglers, when they ride their horses,
right?
They always like to have their jeans a lot longer, make sure they stack at the bottom, so when you mount the horse, your jeans don't ride up.
I have to admit, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. Soon to be horse owner. You should know these things.
Oh, go easy on that one. Outside, it's 2 and 2. Off the end of the bat, foul. Spoils it to the left of home plate. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I really am full of useless knowledge, aren't I?
Well, I mean, you're a very good conversationalist. I'll never watch a rodeo the same again. Off the hands, again a foul ball. Into the seats down the 3rd base line. Whoa. That guy wanted that baseball. He did. Knocked that guy right out of the way. He does get a piece of it to stay alive. He's fighting off a couple of tough pitches here from Justin DeFreitas. So Jerome Williams goes 2/3 before the injury, allows 6 earned runs and 4 hits. Dustin McGowan 3 1/3.
See that front door sinker here. Started at his hip, running back over the plate. You know, he keeps diving. Something that starts at him. I think he might be bailing.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and there's 1 gone here in the 5th inning. All right, here's Manny Machado. Benny's got 2 home runs tonight. He's got a pretty good stance going right now.
He does, and he's swinging the bat well. We talked about the second of the home runs that he hit. And you take, this is a pitch that's down. It is out over the plate, but he goes down and gets it. When he gets to it, he makes contact right here. And instead of the bat coming off the ball, getting to it and off the ball, he gets it. He gets to the point of contact, and his bat, that's called extension. And if anyone knows the swingman, I guess you could say, profile of Ken Griffey Jr., it has that arc, that loop, and it's just, he goes down, and when I say he creates that backspin, because he stays through the ball and creates that backspin with the path of his bat. Not many guys can drive that ball out of the ballpark.
Well, 2 home runs tonight, 2 solo shots. He's 2 for 3. Outside, it's 3-0. Well, he takes the 3-0 fastball, and it's 3-1. Last 3 home run game, Chris Davis in May of last year. Out of play, and it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Manny Machado is homegrown for the Orioles. They took him in the first round, the number 3 pick overall in 2010. Into the big leagues rather quickly and established himself rather quickly. Lays off, and it's ball 4. So a 1-out walk. Travis Snider's due up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. He's got an update on Chad Billingsley. Murph?
We do indeed. Who is trying to work himself back into the Phillies rotation. He pitched tonight in a rehab outing with Lehigh Valley against Buffalo, and it fared pretty well tonight. He went 3 innings. He allowed 3 hits, 1 run. That run was not earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts. He threw 46 pitches in that outing and 7 ground ball outs he got. He told the reporters after the game that he is expecting to start on Sunday at the Lehigh Valley for his 2nd rehab start. He'll start that game, and as he works his way back from that lat strain that has kept him out the last couple of weeks. So that is good news for Chad Billingsley, guys.
Yeah, it sure is. He was anxious to get back out there. We'll probably see him at the ballpark the next couple of days as he gets ready for that next start on Sunday. Travis Snider takes outside. It's 2-0. You wonder with the injury to Williams if they might bump him up to the starting here. They probably would wait, but we'll see, because he does need to build up his arm strength and everything else.
Yes.
Two balls, no strikes. And it's fouled back to the left and out of play.
Yeah, we really haven't seen a whole lot of Chad. I mean, he's been in and out. You know, it seems like he's there for a little while, and then he's out making rehab start, and you hope he can get back to. I mean, the Phillies could desperately need him, and like I said, with Jerome going to most likely be on the DL, need somebody to fill that void.
Another foul ball. It's 2-2 to Snider. Outside 3-2. That one sailed a little bit under Freitas. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Over at first is Machado with 1 man down. Liner out towards center field. Herrera's on the run. He can't get it. It's over his head, and it sails to the wall. Machado's to third. He's being waved home. Galvis's throw to the plate is on 1 hop, and it's not in time. He didn't tag him. Machado went right past the sweeping tag of Carlos Ruiz. It's an RBI double. 14-1. Orioles on top. On the rotation, the first base umpire, Quinn Walcott, came down to make that call.
It's another walk that scores. Snyder not trying to do a whole lot. The ball just really took off. I thought Odubel was going to have a play on this ball.
I did too.
You know, closing the gap out there, and that ball just seemed to just take off. Very good slide there by Machado. Very good slide.
Carlos didn't think his hand hit the plate. That's why he went after him to tag him. Here's Paredes. Paredes 1 for 3. A solo home run back of the second. He's flat out to center and hit into a double play. Outside, 1-0. Take a look at that slide by Machado.
You know, he definitely does get the plate here, but again, it's a lost art, I think.
Sliding in general?
Sliding in general. I can't believe he was born in '92.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Very.
You should. A ball and 1 strike, a foul ball. Giving Carlos Ruiz a little extra time. Up high. Three balls and 1 strike. Got to somehow be confident to get that pitch on the inside part of the plate. They're just pitching away from it tonight or out over the plate. I mean, a little gun shy with 14 runs and 12 hits, 6 home runs. 3 balls, 1 strike. Out of play, it's 3-2.
I think tomorrow night you'll see some precedent set early on in the ball game.
You think so?
Yeah, I just, you know, these guys are very comfortable in the box, and just put some doubt in their mind that, hey, you know what, this guy might want to get in on me, or just make it feel like a little bit more of an uncomfortable at bat. I'm not saying you're going to go drill the first batter, but
that should be playable. Galvis, the shortstop, Franco, the third baseman. And Franco says he has it, and there are 2 outs. Well, for Dustin McGowan, 5 home runs allowed tonight. First Phillies reliever ever to allow 5 home runs in a game. Boy, that's remarkable. That kind of sneaks up on you. You would have, I would think you would think that would happen other times.
out of the 7 hits he gave up, 5 were homers.
Chris Davis has one of those home runs. He's 1 for 2. First time facing Justin DeFreitas. Well, he got a good look at that pitch, and he fouled it away.
Chris Davis was on the cover of Sports Illustrated a couple years ago when he won the American League home run title. Such a good article on his plan at the plate and the swing plane he wants and the drills that he does. Really a good read.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Nationals are taking it to the Rays 10-1. Bryce Harper's homered again. His 22nd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outside corner, 1-2.
true what Charlie said. It's going to be hitting weather.
Oh, it's hitting weather all right today. And in the dome. Very humid. Carlos blocks that one in the dirt there.
Pitches. And when I say guys are comfortable, I always notice when I was catching, guys are comfortable when you see a lot of foul balls.
High fastball swung on and missed to the side is retired. DeFreitas, though, does allow a run on the RBI double by Travis Snyder. We're on to the 6th inning here in Baltimore. The Orioles leading it by 13. With the big club and make it a case for why he belongs. Michael has been hot at the corner with his glove since his return and has defended the left side of the infield with his strong arm. At the plate, he has got into the swing of things in a hurry, and his power has definitely been on display, depositing 4 home runs, 8 extra base hits, and 8 RBIs in the first week of June alone. Franco's contributions are indeed welcomed and are brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Michael is struggling tonight along with the rest of the Phillies hitters who have just 3 hits and 1 run. He will get a chance to bat second in the top of the 6th inning. Phillies fans hope that this kind of a night is not going to be more prevalent as the season moves on. Here's Odubel Herrera, who doubled and scored the only run his last time up. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Outside again, 2-0. 83 pitches for Tillman so far. Again, he's been able to front run here tonight. He's probably a tad higher than they would like him to be at this point, with nobody out in the top of the 6th. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Especially going to a National League city where the pitcher has to hit and running some double switches. And
Jeff Francoeur has made his way out to the bullpen. We saw him pitch last year in the minor leagues for the Padres.
I would assume we'd see him at some point if the score holds up.
He said he'd never 100% thought about becoming a pitcher last year. He still felt like he could provide a little offense, but he did throw. Outside, ball 4, and Odubel draws a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning. And here's Franco, who has popped out twice, once to first, once to second.
What do you think's going through Buck's mind right now?
Buck Showalter?
Yeah.
Why are you walking somebody with a 14-1 lead, and why is your pitch count at 86 with nobody out in the 6th inning?
He's like, are you kidding me?
And why did I send Chen down? That one is pulled toward left field over the head of Snyder, and it is gone. It slips over the fence. A 2-run home run for Maikel Franco, his 7th of the year. And it's now 14-3.
I haven't been able to say it, Tom, but Yaga.
Well, and we've just given out $800 to Denise Mitchell of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, in the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Not a way, Denise. Good for you.
Phillies had gone more than 290 plate appearances since their last home run. So nobody out, 14-3. Orioles on top. Just a bit outside, it's 1-0. Brad Brock is loosening up in the pen. Well, for Franco, that ends an 0 for 11 slide. 7th home run, 18 RBIs. Now it's pulled foul down the right field line. Nice catch with somebody's hat out there. Huh? Who needs a glove? Yeah, looks like Max Packard, doesn't he?
He did.
High fastball, and Howard is struck out, 1 away. On the road traveling and want to watch the Phillies? Well, subscribe to MLB.tv today. Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
I know it's 14-3, Tom, but doesn't that feel good?
What,
see
the
a
home run?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Well, when you haven't hit one in 7 games, yeah. You hope that there's a little bit of offensive contagiousness here. I mean, in all honesty. 1-2. Pretty good breaking ball. Call. Jim Salisbury on CSNPhilly.com echoed something that you've talked about, Matt's talked about. The Phillies obviously have struggled offensively. 37 home runs this year. Their 3 runs tonight give them 200 runs for the season, which is last in the National League. And 3, 4, and 5, have been a big reason why they've struggled with that. There's a topper by Dominic Brown to the right side. And that's it for the Phils here in the 6th inning. They do get 2 on the 2-run home run by Maikel Franco. This is a bullet by Franco, and it just had enough to get over the wall in left center field. That's right, a 2-run home run. The Phils have made it a 14-3 game. McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Along with Ben Davis and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. The Phillies trail at 14-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch is inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Chris Parmelee is 3 for 3. He has singled twice and homered. He may have homered again. He golfs that one deep to right field, and the Orioles have tied their record for home runs in a game. They now have 7 in tonight's ball game. Parmelee has 2. Machado has 2.
There's a good swing here by Parmelee. Gets extension again. The problem that the Phillies have right now, I would assume he'd be in the lineup tomorrow night, Tom. The problem is, you don't know how to pitch the guy. He's got 4 hits.
Yeah.
So you don't know how to get him out.
And Justin DeFreitas has just been thrown out of this ball game. And he'll just walk off. Lance Barksdale did not wait even a moment. All right, now, that was a tight pitch. He didn't hit Hardy, but he threw it inside. I'm not really sure whether it warrants being ejected from the game. Ben, you know it better than I do. I don't know. I just don't think it warrants being ejected, although DeFreitas didn't seem at all shocked by it.
It looks fishy for the simple fact that Chooch was set up outside. If it was intentional, honestly, Tom, now's not the time to do that.
Yeah.
Up 15-3.
Down 15.
I mean, down. Yeah, I want to say the Orioles are up 15-3. I don't.
Well, they're discussing who's going to come into the ball game, so we'll step aside. 15-3. Baltimore on top of the Phils. We'll be back right after this. record. They did it 3 other times. Their last time was September of 2012. So they lead it 15-3. Justin DeFreitas was just ejected from the game for throwing inside to J.J. Hardy by the home plate umpire Lance Barksdale. So Elvis Araujo will come out of the bullpen. It's kind of like an injury situation. He gets as much time as he needs to get warmed up. He looks like he's pretty close. 1-1 with a 2.25 earned run average.
I was surprised he got the boot that quickly. You know,
I definitely was. I mean, you know better than I do.
Not even a warning, and Justin didn't put up an argument, so that leads me to believe that it was intentional.
But Lance Barksdale, veteran umpire, decides to throw the ejection out, and I'm sure the warnings will carry over to tomorrow in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And it may be the same crew, and they may follow us. That's happened before. It's not often that it happens, but with these 2-game series, they may follow us. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hardy, and he lines that one over the glove of Hernandez, so he has a base hit. It's his 3rd hit of the night. Well, the 15 runs the Phillies have allowed so far is the most since 2012 when they allowed 15 to the Atlanta Braves. These are all numbers that, from a Phillies standpoint, you don't want to see happen. Orioles this year scored 18 runs on the 26th of April against the Red Sox. Down the left field line, and that will slice foul. 0-1.
You know, if that is the case, and the reason I don't like that when you're losing by this much is you're getting your tails handed to you.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, well, I can't get you out, so I'm just going to hit you.
Your thought was that something would happen tomorrow, if anything would happen.
No, and I'm not saying you have to go drill somebody. I'm just saying you need to make a more concerted effort to pitch inside and move feet. I'm not saying you have to drill somebody, but move feet. Pitch inside.
Yeah, I think I think you've been saying that. Matt's been saying that. I mean, the whole year.
You know, it just looks bad when that happens.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And it doesn't accomplish anything. You know, you don't hit him, you bring in a new pitcher, and Hardy gets a hit. So it's like, you really didn't do anything. I got into it with a teammate in AAA. He was getting lit up, and he drilled somebody, and the bench is clear. And you know, after the game, we went back in, and I got in his face, and I let him have it. You know, we had to be separated. I said, just because you're getting lit up like a Christmas tree, don't bring us into it. Make better pitches. He was good about it. He paid everybody's fine. So I commend him on that.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Well, all these things, I mean, they always talk about the book, what's the right way to do these things. I mean, I don't know if there's anything written down that should be done in these situations.
Right. Like, you look back at the situation that happened earlier in the year when David Buchanan hit 2 of the Mets.
Right.
And Matt Harvey was on the mound. He hit Chase Utley right in the tail.
Right.
You know, whether or not David Buchanan meant to hit the 2 Mets intentionally, regardless of the fact that he still hit them. You know, Matt Harvey took it upon himself to take out, you know, surely the Phillies' best hitter. But he did it in the right way. Hit him in the tail.
Chase just ran up the first base.
He just ran to first base. So, I mean, there's times when you know it's going to happen, and as long as you're not going out head hunting, not up here, you're messing with people's lives. But, you know, from the waist down, the rib cage, that's fine. But, you know, a situation like that, it's just not. I don't like to see it.
Well, with 1 man down, here is Caleb Joseph and a runner at second base. And that one pitch is low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Ground ball foul, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Catcher's interference.
Oh. I was watching the ball roll. And, so catcher's interference. It's an error charged to Ruiz. But no plate appearance, no time at bat. So he's reached on an error by Franco, and an error now by Ruiz. He's the only one without a base hit. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
He only threw about 12 pitches when he came out of the bullpen. Played catch with Chooch a little bit, told him to get down, and we were ready to go.
Yeah, no, he hadn't thrown anything in the bullpen at all. He was just standing there stretching. That one's hit towards second. That might be 2. Not hit that hard. There's 1, and that's all they'll get. The ball was kind of snaking out towards Cesar Hernandez. 4-6 on the putout. And it leaves runners on first and third with 2 men down. Manny Machado, who has scored 3 runs tonight, 2 home runs, a walk, is the next one up for the O's here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch is way inside and low. It's 1-0. Oh boy, he just punched that one right between Utley and the line. It'll be an RBI single. It's now 16-3. Orioles on top. They were playing off the line. Machado's a dead pull hitter. And he just took an outside pitch and served it down the right field line. 3 RBI night for Manny Machado.
Nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing you can do. It's called beating the shift. Was that run charged to DeFreitas or Araujo?
Araujo.
Despite DeFreitas starting
correct
the at bat.
Because Araujo gave up the hit. The ball's in 1 strike to Snyder. And a line drive down the left field line. That's a fair ball going to the corner. 1 run is in. Machado's going to third. They'll hold him. And Snyder will pull into second base. It's 17-3 Orioles. So Snyder has 2 RBIs, and he has 2 doubles here tonight. His on-base percentage is climbing through the roof.
I think Bobby Dickerson showed a little mercy on the Phillies there by holding Machado at third base. Could have made it home.
Yeah, I think he could have made it home there, and I think Lowe could have made it home on Machado's base hit. Just because Dominic Brown did not go after it aggressively and then dropped it or bobbled it. Here's Paredes, and Paredes taps one back to the mound. Araujo throws low and nearly pulled Utley off the bag, but he grabs it. A little more frustration showing for the Phils, and the side is retired. 3-run score. And the Orioles, with Travis Snyder and the rest of them, have a 17-3 lead. Numbers they put up: 17 runs on 16 hits. Jerome Williams lasted 2/3, and then he left in the first with an injury. The Orioles have hit 7 home runs tonight. That ties a franchise record. Chris Tillman's done after 6 innings. He wasn't particularly special here tonight, but he did have a ton of run support. Ryan Flaherty moves over from second base to shortstop. Steve Pearce takes over at second base for the Orioles. And there is a development that's going on in the Phillies bullpen as we speak, as Brad Brock will take over on the mound. Jeff Francoeur has started to warm up. So Francoeur, who pitched a number of times, a handful of times I should say, last year with the Padres organization, getting some advice from Jonathan Papelbon and Rod Nichols. There's a strike. It's 0-1.
What advice is Paps giving him?
He's talking. He's honestly, they're talking to him about his motion from the stretch, like leaning in, all that stuff. That looked like what they were talking about. Out to center field, and Lowe misplayed it for a moment, but recovers for the first out.
In all seriousness, though,
yeah,
you hope something doesn't happen, or he hurts his arm. There you go. Take a deep breath. Paps likes what he sees.
He'd be the perfect Little League coach.
Little League?
Well, Babe Ruth, maybe.
But you hope something doesn't physically happen. Hurt his arm, or, you know, pull a rib cage muscle, anything like that.
Carlos Ruiz is the batter. Carlos hits the first pitch to second base, swimming each and every way out to the second baseman, Pierce. So 2 outs. Freddie Galvis is coming up. Jeff Francoeur has never pitched in a big league game, but as we mentioned, he pitched in a minor league game, in minor league games last year.
definitely has the arm for it.
It sounds like he's loose and ready to go. Last year he wound up pitching in 8 games. Had a respectable 3.68 earned run average.
In the PCL.
In the PCL. Ball flies there. Only gave up 1 home run. The ball got a piece of Joseph. So they give him a little extra time. Ball is pulled deep down the right field line, way foul. That U1 has some pop in it.
Yes, it does.
0-2 to Freddie Galvis. Ground ball to first, and it's foul.
Brad Brock. A lot of butts and elbows flying at you. Not a very conventional delivery. That reminds me a little bit of like a Tyler Clippard with his delivery. The 2 pitch coming to Galvis. Outside 1-2. He's fouled off a couple of these 0-2 pitches. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. More conventional baseball score. The Mets lead the Blue Jays 3-2. Matt Harvey. 7 innings so far. Galvis punches that one into left field, a base hit. Outstanding, Freddie.
It's the second hit of the night. Well, that's what they would like him to do. I mean, nothing overpowering. That right there.
It was the at-bat that I was happy about.
Yeah.
We got down 0-2, fouled a bunch of pitches. Got to see all of Brad Brock's pitches. It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
Off the hands, and Machado makes the catch. Side is retired. A little looper to third base. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Well, here he comes. Jeff Francoeur will pitch for the first time in a big league game. he's about to pitch in his first major league game. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposing team 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, it's not often you see a position player pitch this early in the ballgame, and it sounds strange, but it's the bottom of the 7th inning, and it is the Orioles that are bombarding the Phillies right now. But here's Francoeur, who pitched when he was in high school and then hadn't pitched at all until last year with the El Paso Chihuahuas in the Padres organization. And here's the numbers: 8 games, 7 1/3. In fact, he won his first 4 games last year without allowing a run, then allowed a 3-run home run. And that's what he'll top out at, 89 miles an hour. Now, his teammates are, enjoying it, getting a chance to see him do this. He is as likable a person as you're going to see. And he just struck out Nolan Reynolds. It's kind of a slider that he threw right there. And there's one away here in the 7th inning.
Either a slider or a split. It backs up, whatever it is, and goes straight down.
I don't think that's what Papelbon is teaching him. I looked at his repertoire that they ran down last year when he was in San Diego's minor league system. They said fastball tops out at 89 and a slider. It's a sinker-slider mix.
Good movement on that sinker there.
And you just hope that he doesn't get hurt, and that's the biggest thing. 1 ball, no strikes. Outside, it's 2-0. The Phillies have had guys like John McDonald, Casper Wells. Remember Casper Wells? He's pitched in the game. I just think this is probably the earliest, and I could be way wrong without looking at the numbers. This is the earliest I think we've ever seen this.
Yeah, 7th inning's early. Obviously, Wilson Valdez got the W against the Reds.
That was late.
Yeah, that was 19 innings, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was late. 3 balls, no strikes to Parmalee. And it's 3-1. He has got a pace going right now. I mean, he is moving. He's getting it and firing. He delivers again, 3-2.
It's no win for a batter. If you get a hit, it's like you're supposed to get a hit. It's a position player.
Right.
If you don't, you're embarrassed.
87. Jeff is in tremendous shape. That's not an issue at all. I mean, physically, he can handle, and he's got an unbelievable arm, as everybody knows. Ground ball right side. Utley's got it. Francoeur perfectly there to cover, even without any spring training. 3-1 on the putout, and they're 2-1.
The pitchers fielders practice. Philadelphia fans appreciate it.
And now Steve Pearce. Here are the last 11 non-pitchers who have pitched. Going all the way back to Cookie Rojas and Granny Hamner. I do believe Lance Barksdale has widened the strike zone here. Steve Pearce up for the first time. Slider in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Orioles fans were applauding because that was the first time Parmalee was retired this evening.
8 strikes, 4 balls. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside, 2-1.
Is that a front door cutter?
I don't know if it was intended to be, but yes, we'll write that down as a front door cutter. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball foul. Fielder's glove ready to go. Broke his bat, shattered it. Look out, it goes into the crowd. It's caught out of the air by Galvis, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Francoeur. Well, a great pick-me-up for his teammates and the Phillies fans that are here, and hopefully everybody's okay as the head of that bat went into the stands. We'll go to the 8th inning with the Orioles up 17-3. Philadelphia Phillies. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Remarkably, Jeff Francoeur has just pitched the first 1-2-3 inning for the Phillies in tonight's ball game, and he's going to go out there and pitch the second inning. As we go to the top of the 8th inning, the Phillies offense will face left-hander Brian Mattis. Parmalee moves to first base. And Jimmy Paredes will take over third base. That means the DH is out of the mix for the Orioles. And out in right field is Nolan Reimold. Reimold was struck out by Jeff Francoeur. So here's Mattis 1-2 with a 3.15 earned run average. And Odubel Herrera, who has scored twice tonight. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. You made the transition to being a pitcher. I'm not saying Francoeur is going to do that at all, but did you pitch in any games before when you were catching, before you made the transition to being a pitcher?
No, I went home and played in the Delco League. Back home, it's a league, wooden bat league that's been in existence forever. My dad actually played in it. Sean Pender from the Reds took a look at me and signed me. I went to camp the following year with the Reds.
Former coach of St. Joseph's.
Yes. One of the greatest baseball guys you'll meet.
No balls and 2 strikes to Odubel Herrera. Swing and a miss. Odubel is struck out, 1 away. Speaking of St. Joseph's, it's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
It is indeed presented by St. Joseph's University, guys, and the Houston Astros got a boost to their lineup by getting all-star Jose Altuve back. He was battling some hamstring problems, went 1 for 4 tonight, but they did say he was favoring that leg just a bit. They are going to need him if they're going to stay atop the division over there in the American League. And how about the story that came out today, first reported by the New York Times, regarding the Cardinals and the Houston Astros, the Cardinals being invested by the Justice Department and the FBI for what is possibly computer hacking of the Houston Astros computer system, trying to, as they call him safe. Franco, safe at first, that they were hacking in the Cardinals were hacking into the Houston Astros computer system to get proprietary information about players, possible trades, and scouts as well. They are using the same password as Jeff Lunau, who used to be a part of the Cardinals organization, now the general manager down there in Houston. They were able to figure out passwords, according to the reports, and get into the Houston Astros system, which obviously is illegal to do. Major League Baseball is aware of it. The report came out today. No word yet on who is involved from the Cardinals front office. That will probably be the next shoe to drop, but it will be an interesting story to follow nonetheless as we move forward.
Honestly, I think it'll be devastating for Major League Baseball that there would be something like that happening, if there is any truth at all to it. And obviously the story, which was well researched, laid a lot of it out. But it will be embarrassing on so many levels to Major League Baseball if something like that comes to fruition.
It certainly will, Tom. I think a lot will have to do with who is involved in the St. Louis Cardinals organization, whether it's a rogue employee with an ability to hack, or if others were involved that should know better. So it'll be interesting to see when that all plays out.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ryan Howard. They have scored that an error to Paredes over third base to allow Michael Franco to reach first. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Howard. He lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I don't think Adam Jones is lobbying to go to the bullpen to try to throw.
No.
Chatting with Buck Showalter. Francoeur hanging out with the pitchers and Cameron Rupp just discussing pitching. Howard strikes out. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Francoeur is going to get himself ready to go back out there and pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. Breaking ball that's wide. And now 2 balls and no strikes. Phillies are not the only team to use a position player in tonight's ball games. In Tampa Bay, we talked about the fact that the Nationals are just blowing up the Rays. Well, Jake Elmore is now pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays. It's 14-1 Washington. That one's popped up shallow center field. Paredes, the third baseman, makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 man left after reaching on an error. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Baltimore. Jeff Francoeur will head back, yes, to the mound. And he will face Ryan Flaherty. After a 1-2-3 seventh inning, he begins the eighth. And Flaherty golfs one deep to right center field, and it's a brand new Orioles record. 8 home runs in a game, and it's now 18-3. O's on top. Flaherty now with 3 RBIs in tonight's game. And it's his 3rd homer of the season.
For a skinny fella, he creates a lot of bat speed on this one. That ball is crushed. Fastball right down the middle.
Now Caleb Joseph, and he takes low. It's 1-0. He's hit by a pitch that was not intentional, so there's not going to be any ejection. Buck Showalter, you're probably thinking, man, I hope he doesn't hurt any of my players. That's an important piece right there for them. A backup catcher who's done a heck of a job.
Look at him right on the inside of his right elbow,
Yep.
his throwing elbow.
Yep. Matt Wieters is in the on-deck circle. That's Mattis' spot, the pitcher's spot. They gave up the DH when Paredes went in to play third. Outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. David Lowe tonight has scored a couple runs. He's driven in 3 thanks to a 3-run home run, one of 8 home runs allowed by the Phillies pitchers. That's a foul ball. And it's 1-1. Fly ball right center field. That one will stay in the yard. Dominic Brown and Odubel Herrera are there, and Odubel makes the catch. And 1 away. Here comes Matt Wieters, who will pinch hit. Eight home runs, a new franchise record, as we mentioned.
Eight homers. Man. I know I've never seen 8 homers in a game.
I have not either. A ball and no strikes. Wieters takes outside, 2-0.
Sure, Frenchie will be a little sore tomorrow. You think, well, you play catch every day, you do this, you play long toss. Pitching is completely different.
Yeah, your legs, everything about it. There's ball 4. Well, the last Philly player to have pitched, position player to have pitched more than 1 inning, 1959. Oh. When Bob Bowman threw 3. By the way, the record for most home runs in a game, American League record, is 10. It was Toronto. They did it against Baltimore in '87. The National League record is 9. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, how about that? How about how close the Phillies are to the record? I mean, I don't know what the interleague record is. So that we'll find out.
10 homers. In '87, the Blue Jays hit 10 homers.
10 home runs.
Man.
That's in there, and it's 2-1. And there's still only one man down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And for Francoeur, it's his inning. Swing and a miss. Travis Snyder has the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That just missed. Francoeur looked like he wanted that one.
Pitch count of 32 pitches.
Ground ball, foul. See those guys this weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals. Cole Hamels, Aaron Harang. Foul ball, and it remains 3-2. Jeff Francoeur was an outstanding athlete in high school. Very good football player. As we said, before the Braves drafted him in the first round, he did pitch and play the outfield in high school, like a lot of great athletes, great baseball players did. There's ball 4. That's going to load up the bases. Probably have to start thinking about getting somebody else up just to try to get these last 2 outs, don't you think?
Right, 35 pitches, that's a lot. Again, you're using muscles you're not used to using.
Got to get somebody up.
You don't want anything bad to happen.
You said he's in great shape. He's a big, strong kid, but
playing right here from Pittsburgh. Jeff is very excited. His high school team is currently ranked number 1.
Yeah.
In the country.
They made sure he pointed out, he goes, in the country by all 5 recognized polls. I think the phone is off the hook. I don't think Rod Nichols, I do think it's off the, and I'm being serious. It looks like it's off the hook. They're going to have to somehow get a hold. They're going to look. He's going to use the towel. I mean, this is a bad night. One ball and 1 strike. Honestly, they're going to have to call time. Go out. Look at the phone. It's off the hook.
You can't bring a pitcher in after a position player, can you?
You have to. Unless you're bringing in another position player. But there's no other position player out in the bullpen. Finally, somebody realizes it, and there you go. The phone's back on hook.
Very observant, Tom.
Well, I've knocked many a phone off the hook in a bedroom. In a hotel, where all of a sudden you hear somebody calling when you're sleeping. You bang it off the hook.
Yeah.
Front desk call, says, everything all right? There's a fly ball deep to left field. Ashe going back. He turns, reaches up, makes the catch. A run will score. And it's now 19-3. Sacrifice fly. 2 outs.
Still have a house phone?
Yes.
We do too.
Yeah.
And we use it.
So 2 away. And here's Reimold. 19-3, Orioles on top. Outside, 1-0. That one's hit sharply foul, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. The runners will be off. Probably not that aggressively. With the Orioles up 19-3. And there's ball 4. So the bases are now loaded. So the bases are now loaded. Bob McClure out to the mound to talk to Jeff Francoeur. I think he's at his limit at 46 pitches. I really do. I mean, they know better than we do.
I don't see anybody else.
There's nobody warming up. I think Chase is probably saying just that out on the mounds.
Chase is upset at Frenchie, I think. Frenchie wants to stay in there. Chase is saying, no way.
Well, they're all lingering out on the mound as Bob McClure ran back the last few steps. And somebody is going to get up and start warming now in the bullpen. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. And here is Chris Parmelee. He has homered twice. He's got 2 singles. It's 1 ball and no strikes. It's a valiant effort by Jeff Francoeur, but I mean, the splits are rising. And he gets him to lift one in the shallow center field. Odubel Herrera says he has it. He's under it, makes the catch, and the side is retired. 2 innings for Francoeur. The Orioles increase their lead to 19-3. Well, give him a round of applause for a heck of an effort here tonight as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Of the game. Well, Jeff Francoeur, I mean, he's been a heck of a teammate here tonight. This is a 1-2-3 Ben 7th inning for Jeff Francoeur. 7th inning.
Gets a strikeout on Reimold, rollover by Parmelee, and then a jam shot to Steve Pierce. Bat ends up in the stands. Thankfully, everyone's okay. And Jeff Francoeur is your Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers, so he's going to need a drink. A lot of hydration. 3 walks, 2 earned runs, 1 hit, the home run. Bob McClure went over and chatted with him during the break. He said, listen, my arm's fine. You can just see it from the way he was talking to Bob. He mouthed, my arm is fine. The new pitcher is Tommy Hunter. And Wieters is over at first base for the Orioles. Dominic Brown leads it off at the top of the 9th inning. There's Wieters. Tommy Hunter, 26th game, 2-1 with an ERA of 3.62. Up and away, 1-1. Dominic Brown pulls it through the hole on the right side, so he has his second hit of the evening. An infield hit back in the 4th. Can't give away at bats.
No, you cannot.
You're down 19-3. Just can't give away at bats. Hey, every hit is important for Dominic Brown at this point in his career.
You better believe it. And he knows that.
You're not going to sugarcoat the way this game is. There's no way to do that. Chopper back toward the middle. And they'll get one and not turn the double play. 5-6 on the putout at second base. And a fielder's choice for Ashe. And Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Orioles bullpen has been excellent this year. Their ERA coming in 2.10. The batting average against 2.11. I mean, in the American League, I know I keep saying in the American League with the ERAs, but I mean, that's dealing. Fastball upstairs, 1-0 to Ruiz.
We've only seen Brock, Mattis, now Hunter. You know, we did see Britton last night, who has, man, he's got some stuff from the left side.
Up and in, 2-1. Balls and 1 strike.
It's a tired swing there by Chooch. Whew. He's had a long night back there. It's a 3-1 count and just can't muster any bat speed right now. It's tough.
Ground ball to shortstop. That might be 2. That may end the ball game. There's 1 and 2. This game has mercifully come to a close as the Orioles win it by a final of 19-3, and the Phillies have lost every game on this road trip. It started with Manny Machado's home run in the bottom of the 1st inning, and the Orioles offense never looked back. It's a franchise record 8 home runs, 19 runs and 17 hits, and the offense as a whole are Chevrolet players of the game. And the deliveries of the game.